So let's talk about the second one. The second one is your business associates. Number 2. Business associates are defined as any business for which you have been a customer in the last 5 years. Now, customer does not necessarily mean that you bought their services or products. The moment you walk in the threshold of a store, what do you become? Customer, okay? So, all of us have probably had this experience at one time or another where you walk down the mall and you kind of step in a store every once in a while, and then you go out and you step in another store. You know what I'm talking about? You kind of feel the cloth and stuff, and then you step. I mean, that's just the process we go through in the mall, looking and shopping for things. Now, of course, the big anchor stores, the Dillards and the Mervyns and the Sears and all those, don't bother with them, okay? They already have an accounting department. But a lot of the stores in the mall, or a lot of the stores in the shopping areas around your home or that you've been in, are either independently owned or they're franchises, which are also independently owned. And those are the businesses that are in your target for customers or clients, okay? So, make a list of those. Make a list of all the stores you've been in. And in your book, there's a sample of different types of businesses and industries that cater specifically to individuals like you and I, and that tend to be small. You know, it might be your doctor's office, it might be your dentist's office, it might be your veterinarian, it might be your favorite restaurant, it could be the place you go watch movies, it could be any of those places, car repair shop. All those are different types of businesses that are typically owned and small businesses, and that will need your services. So you make a list of all those, okay? Now, why being a customer is a competitive advantage is because how do business owners feel towards their customers? They love them. I will tell you that my clients are among the most important people in my life. They're somewhere below my wife and children, okay? Somewhere down there, but they're still right up near the top. Now, why do I consider them so important? Because I know that it's because of them I'm able to keep my wife and children happy, okay? So they're important to me. Now, I can tell you, every business owner has the same reaction towards their customers. I mean, I will drive across town and pay 10 cents more a gallon to go to my client's gas station just to show him that I'm loyal to him, okay? So recognize that when you write this letter, and if you're able to help them know and understand that you are a customer of theirs, they will approach that letter totally different from somebody that they don't recognize any relationship to. Okay? So, prepare a list. Prepare the letters. In your book, there's a sample of the letter you want to send out to them. It's much different than the letter that we send out to our friends, neighbors, and relatives. The first difference is that it is on our business letterhead, because our name might not ring any bells. The fact that we're a customer will ring bells, but not our name, okay? So we're going to use our business letterhead. It's going to look very professional. That's the issue we want. We want them, first of all, to understand we're credible with a professional-looking letterhead, okay? And then we're going to type up that letter, similar to what it is in the book, and we're going to mail out 10 each week, okay? What is in the letter, although it's important, it's brief, it's concise, and you can use exactly what's in there if you want to, but what's important about the letter isn't so much what's in that letter as what comes next. Notice in the last paragraph of that letter, it says, I will contact you next Tuesday or Thursday or Friday or whenever that is. Do you see that? And if you can, I would even put it a time. You know, Wednesday at 10 o'clock, I will contact you. I want you to use the word contact, but I want you to understand that in your mind, you need to interpret that as visit. Okay? So if you say next Wednesday at 10 p.m. I will contact you, what does that mean? Where are you going to be next Wednesday at 10 o'clock? at their office. Okay? Now, in a little while, I'm going to talk about what to talk to them about. So don't get too nervous about this, okay? I'm going to tell you how to handle it. It's not as scary as a lot of people fear when they hear this word visit. It's not going to be a difficult thing to do. In fact, it will be the funnest part of the whole process, is going out and visiting once you understand what to say and how to say it. But you're going to say, I will contact you next. And the reason why we use contact is because we don't want them to feel like you are, if you say visit, they might think, I don't have time. They might call you and say, don't come see me. Okay, we want to go in there and visit them. But we want them to understand contact, okay? And remember, contact does not mean phone, okay? Just recognize that. It means visit. The reason why is because that competitive advantage starts out because you're a customer and then ends because you visit them face to face and they see you in their store, okay? And then you have a competitive advantage over everybody else, the hundreds of other letters that they get in the mail. Now, how do you point out that you're a customer? Well, you'll notice in the body of the letter it tells them you're a customer, but also, what can you do to make sure that they notice you're a customer? Handwrite a short note up at the top. Do you remember we talked about that just a minute ago? Handwrite a short note saying, last time I was in your store, or I love coming to your store, you've always got a good style, you got my style of clothing, whatever, I love your food, I love specifically this item on your menu, just tell them, because they will always do it. They'll always read whatever's handwritten on there first. And as soon as they read something that says, I love your food, they're going to read the rest. Okay? You're already their favorite person. In the mail that day, they feel like they've just had just one. Okay? So write that little note. Okay? And then what are you going to do after that? You're going to handwrite the address. What are you going to enclose in that envelope? Business cards. Okay? And then you're going to send it off with a stamp. Now, one other point. That date, that contact date on that letter should be within 24 hours after they receive the letter. Okay? So in other words, don't send out letters on Monday saying you're going to visit them the next Monday. Okay? Most cities, if you send it out in the same city, you send it on a Monday, when are they typically going to receive it? Tuesday. So when should you visit them for Monday? Okay? The next day. Okay? So Wednesday. So you might want to stagger those letters. Limit yourself to 10 letters per week. Okay? No more. Just 10 letters per week. Now, initially, it's going to, if you really are aggressive and anxious, you might want to put in 20, but I will tell you that if you do much more than 10, you're going to see this thing start snowballing. And the first few times you do this, it's going to be a learning experience and an opportunity. So recognize that you want to kind of have some time to think through the process and consider what you said and what you should have said, what you maybe will say in the future. And so limit yourself to 10 letters a week. So if you have 50 contacts or 100 contacts, you might be involved in this for the next 2 or 3 months, right? Okay, in this process. But recognize that every one of them is a potential client. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that every one of them is going to say yes? I will tell you, obviously it doesn't. But I will tell you that in the process of doing this, you're going to learn so much that every one of those visits is going to be worthwhile. Whether they said yes or no, it's going to be worthwhile. And when we get into the presentation, you're going to learn about how to keep those, how to learn from that process, and so that every visit is worthwhile. Okay?